Did you guys see enough deep balls today? If all you're going to write is negative expletive, then none of you need to be here. You don't even know what the expletive you're talking about. Do your expletive job. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Tiltingground Untitled Notre Dame USC football podcast. I'm Michael Muto, and I'm here with Greg Flamong. Hi, Greg.
Hello, Michael.
Any guesses on what that was?
No, you're just full of surprises all the time.
That is Idaho Vandals coach Paul Petrino in the little preseason media tirade.
Oh, my.
Yes. So we had our first week of football action. Finally, real games, real plays to watch, real football. How excited were you?
It was like Christmas morning again, just like waiting for the night before. I just had that little excitement in my stomach, just like, thank goodness football is back.
I can vouch for that because Greg and I actually watched the games together. It was unexpected.
We watched the games together, yes. We didn't actually watch our teams together. It was so hard waiting. Notre Dame usually doesn't start at 4:30 our Pacific time. It's usually a 12:30 start. So I did not like waiting, but it was definitely worth it. So
it sure was for you. And then the Pac-12 network debacle has caused some problems over here for USC fans.
People were bitter. I was checking on Twitter because I was looking to see because I think you had said there were rumors about the DirecTV was going to pick up the Pac-12 network, and I wanted to watch the game because I wanted to look at. I always usually watch USC just to kind of see who do they have, like the freshmen, Imam Marshall and Ronald Jones. I really wanted to see those guys. And I actually was able to catch a highlight of Ronald Jones because he had a highlight run. But yeah, I always try to tune in, and I wasn't able to see it.
Even if you got to tune in, you missed the first touchdown of the game. So that's a little bit of controversy around town. Yeah, I guess Pac-12 Network Los Angeles stayed with the Oregon game, and only if you have Pac-12 Network Los Angeles did you get the beginning of the USC game. So some people were mad about that. When I watched the replay on my phone, I threw it up on my TV from my Google Cast, and I kept rewinding, and I couldn't figure out why I couldn't find the first touchdown. Then the next day I read it. I was like, oh, this makes so much sense now. All right. So
I mean, they're just conditioning USC fans, like LA fans in general, just to like not watch their teams. I mean, you can't watch the Dodgers out here unless you're like the 3 of 10 people who has Time Warner cable. So, at least you get most of the USC games.
That's true when they're on ABC.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of USC, let's just start there. USC had their first game, home opener against Arkansas State. It was just like Greg said.
Did I or did I not call it?
Mid-50s to 0-ish.
No.
They got the touchdown. Maybe one touchdown.
I said mid-50s to 6. That was what I said.
You did. And they did not get the extra point, just like you said. No, it was a 2-point conversion, not a kick. But it was pretty impressive. You nailed it. So the game, I thought the game was pretty boring. It went just kind of like how we said. A lot of big plays, a lot of 40-plus yard touchdowns. This SC could do whatever they wanted. They were the superior team. The note coming out of the game was 13 true freshmen played. That's a little weird. It seems like this Steve Sarkisian's all in. He's trying to not be 7-win Sark. Yeah. He's just putting all the eggs in one basket. And I think there were 3 true freshman defensive linemen who played, which is kind of unnecessary when you have a bunch of senior defensive linemen. There are 3 true freshman linebackers in at one point. And they were good. I mean, all these guys are good. One of them scored a touchdown. Cameron Smith, who we mentioned last week, I think he leader in tackles, like 7.5. There were some true freshmen in the back and the defensive backfield. It's just a lot. So 13 true freshmen played. Ronald Jones, who we mentioned earlier, he's a true freshman. He scored a touchdown on a fancy little run. He had like 80 yards on 6 carries. Matt Leinart said he looked like Reggie Bush.
Oh,
thanks, Matt.
Yeah.
Kessler looked good. 73% completion, right on par for him. 236 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Maybe a little problem that kind of reared its head early was 5 sacks, but in the second half there were no sacks. So it seems like the offensive line corrected whatever was happening. Kessler threw passes to 11 different receivers. That's moving the ball around. No one really dominated. The defense looked really good. They had 4 takeaways. Sua Cravens had an interception. Chris Hawkins had an interception. He also recovered a fumble. And then another little blemish on the day was that Dory Jackson got hurt really early. So just be safe rather than sorry. They kept him out.
What happened to him?
I think it was an abdominal muscle strain. So there was a hip pointer thing floating around that he thought it might have been, but that was game time talk. But now that the week's gone on, it was just some stomach muscles. It looks like he's good to go if they need him. So he'll probably be out there a little bit
against Idaho.
Against the Vandals.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be tough. So I've got a couple of things from this game.
All right.
I got you some house cleaning. Who is the new receiver, Juju Smith-Schuster?
I think he replaces Juju Smith.
I know of a Juju Smith. I don't know of a Smith-Schuster. What happened there?
Over the offseason, the Schuster. I'm not 100% sure where it came from. I'm sure it's one of his parents' names, and he wants to honor both of them. Someone else did this, and now their name's escaping me. I knew it earlier in the day, where they added the extra name.
Like a USC player?
Yeah, another USC wide receiver, and I can't think of who it was.
Oh my goodness!
So
why can't I think of it?
I think it wasn't as. I think it was a good player too, and he just kind of did it and kind of faded away. So yeah, Juju Smith-Schuster. I thought he was fighting with his teammate the other day. Who was it? The other receiver, Isaac Whitney. He had a little
fighting like fist fight.
No, just a little verbal altercation. Trying to keep the tenacity and keep everybody sharp.
Chest to chest.
Yeah,
holding it back.
Juju Smith-Schuster is the lead receiver, so he's got to make sure everyone's doing their job. He's trying to be a leader.
All right, I'm in.
What else did you see out there?
I see Asa Cedric Ware. Or Aka Cedric Ware. He scored a touchdown. Never heard of him.
He's a true freshman? One of the 13 true freshmen?
Is that correct?
Yep.
I follow recruiting pretty closely. I've never heard of that guy.
I saw his name on the depth chart.
Good on him.
Well, Justin Davis was hurt, so he could be back for the Idaho game, and that's really going to cramp things up. Oh, we didn't even mention Trey Madden, who I called Trey Mason last week.
Good.
He had a big day, over 100 yards, long touchdown. He looked great.
He had a big one. Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean the main takeaways for me. I mean, this is the kind like USC never they wouldn't struggle obviously against a team like this, but they never do. I feel like the home opener is just like they did against Hawaii a couple of years ago. They just crush. So it's always like fun to watch the guys that I'm just terrified of. Like Juju Smith, like that's kind of like, yeah, he's good. I know he's gonna be a problem. It's the other people like Ronald Jones. Like I knew he was good. Like Notre Dame wanted him bad, and they get him. And I saw him in a couple of the All-Star games, and he looked good. And you think, well, maybe he's just one of those guys who, doesn't really hit. And then in the first game, like he goes 44 yards, untouched, like outrunning people. And it's like, oh, good. Like he's going to be a problem for 4 years. Although if he's like Reggie Bush, then maybe he'll leave after 3 amid a enormous scandal.
And sanctions will ensue.
Sanctions will ensue, and then he's not welcome back on campus.
Well, that's worst case scenario. Actually, that might be best case scenario.
So I'm gonna so Kenny Bigelow, that's another freshman, right?
He's not a freshman.
Is he a redshirt?
Yeah, he got hurt, and then he didn't play his first year, so he's been around the team for a while. But this was his first Coliseum game.
Okay.
So he was very excited.
Okay.
And it showed. He was in that defensive line rotation.
A deep one. I mean, Rasheem Green got a little action in there.
I mean, who didn't? If you played defense, if you're on the depth chart as a defensive lineman, you got to play.
Marvell Tell the third.
They're selling it to the kids as platooning, not getting subbed out.
You guys have 2 the thirds on your team. You've got Marvell Tell the third, number 7. He had 3 tackles, and you have Leon McQuay the third, number 22. He had 2 tackles and a pass broken up.
Ronald Jones is the second. He's trying to keep up.
I know. Just gotta get with it.
But yeah. Anything else? Do you notice anything else? Any concerns as a Notre Dame fan? What's coming down the pipeline?
Well, I'm just the concerns. I mean, so just looking at the box score, I mean, they did give up 401 yards total offense, which, I mean, it's not bad, but I mean, 400 yards isn't nothing. And then I'm looking at the stats here. So in the first half, rushing wise, Arkansas State had 21 carries for 95. It's 4.5 yards a carry.
Not great.
Nothing. It's not. Yeah, it's not great, but it's not. They didn't shut them down completely. And I assumed in the second half, Arkansas State probably had a little bit more rushing yards because backups got put in the game, and Arkansas State isn't the type of team that's going to play their backups because, I mean, it's not like they have a bunch of freshmen in waiting like USC does. So
no.
No. So I think the biggest difference you saw from Arkansas State was in the second half, offensively throwing the ball. And the thing, they were 6 of 17 for 40 yards and an interception. I mean, their quarterback had a 43% passer rating. That's not good. That doesn't
not good.
So they got 153 yards through the air again. So that's the kind of thing that I look at, just like how was the defense. I mean, it's a thoroughly dominating performance, as you would expect. He's going to play a lot of freshmen. Did they have the ball a lot?
I mean, if you're scoring, when you're scoring, what was it, 56 points? The other team's gonna get the ball a bunch. I think their punter had like seven punts.
They had the ball for 35 minutes compared to USC's 24 and a half. So yeah.
I mean, you can't. Yeah. It's hard. Playing defense for that long is hard, regardless of how good you are. And they still only gave up 6 points.
It's nothing that I think is going to, I don't see that Arkansas State had 400 yards, and I'm like, oh, SC's defense is vulnerable. Like, no, that's not what I think. So, I mean, SC had 509 yards of total offense on 64 plays. They had 87. They got 401 yards. So, they ran almost 90 plays. So obviously, it's like the guy who scores 20 points in a basketball game on like a bad team. Like, someone has to do something. So you run 87 plays, like, you're going to get some yards. So,
right. Exactly. Well, let's see what's on the table for this weekend. Another home game at the Coliseum. Paul Petrino's Idaho Vandals. That is Bobby Petrino's little brother. in case
Ooh.
anyone's wondering. He
I
is
mean, you figured he had to be related some way.
with that fiery attitude.
Oh yeah.
He's 2-22 as the Vandals head coach. The Vandals are just awful. I mean, they're not very good. They're definitely worse than Arkansas State. They lost last week to Ohio, 45-28. They went 1-10 last year. I mean, there's almost no point in talking about this game. One thing I did see though when I was doing my homework, so we usually save this till the end, but the opening line was USC minus 43.5. That's big. The over/under was 44. I've never seen that before.
Wow. I'm taking it, by the way.
So it moved a little bit. It's moved a little bit since then. But yeah, the over/under was a half point higher than the line. I've never seen that. Yeah. So, anyways, back to the Vandals. They're not good. They have a quarterback, Matt Linehan. He's whatever. The running back guy named Elijah Penny. He's whatever as well. Their two best players are wide receiver Desmond Epps. He got kicked off the team actually last year. They let him back in. And a tight end, Dion Watson. He scored a touchdown last week. So those are their two best players. I don't think they're going to be any problems for USC's defense. It should be just a repeat of what everybody saw last Saturday. So Adoree Jackson might play. Justin Davis should play. You're going to see the same freshmen running through. USC is going to play a bunch of people. So that's kind of fun. Ronald Jones will get out there. Trey Madden's going to run. Is it Dominic Davis? That might not actually be his name. Oh, it is Dominic Davis. Dominic Davis, yeah, he's a true freshman who gets some snaps here and there. I mean, there's a million guys you're going to see. Steve Mitchell Jr. He hurt his hand, but he should be good to go. So the new line is. Oh, it actually went down. It's 43. USC by 43. What do you got, Greg?
Wow. A bunch of money flying in on the Vandals. I mean, over. I'm taking the points. Or give me what is it taking the points? I'm saying over. SC covers.
Yeah, you say SC beats Idaho by 43 points.
I say they beat them by like 53 points. I'm not going to call a score this time. Wait, is the game in Idaho?
No, it's at the Coliseum.
Oh, okay, I was going to say, like, what if there's like 18 people in the stands, then maybe I'll defer that. But no, it's gonna be a lot to a little.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to give the points as well. I think it's just silly.
Is this game also on the Pac-12 network that I can't watch?
Is on the Pac-12 network, so you can't watch. I saw a little something about how they're going to try to make sure that the game starts at the appropriate time and the end of the Cal game does not block the beginning of the USC game. Thanks, Pac-12 network.
Working out the kinks.
All right, so that's USC. Now why don't we throw it over to Notre Dame? They had a big blowout win too.
Yeah, it was amazing. I was one of the few times there's been an opener and I didn't have anything to complain about. I'm usually very negative. I mean, I guess I was very negative during the game, but I mean, if I was to draw up, if I was to write out, like, this is what I want to see from each position, we kind of saw it. I mean, going into the game, everyone said Malik Zaire, he needs to, he's a good runner. We know that. How accurate is he going to be? Can he stand in the pocket, hit key third downs when he needs to? And he comes out and he's 19-22 for 313 and 3 touchdowns. I mean, it seemed like every time he threw he didn't even have like close to really like an incompletion. I mean, he had 3 incompletions, but after that, I mean, it's not like guys were making diving catches. I mean, they were bobbling the ball because he was throwing it so hard right into their chest. So, I mean, you knew on the first drive, he was settled down. I mean, they had a 3rd and 7 on the first drive. He's patiently waited in the pocket and he hit a crosser to Chris Brown for about, 15-yard gain, moved the chains. They ended up having to punt on that drive. But then on the second drive, he had 3rd and 11. He hit Will Fuller for a touchdown. And after that, it was basically like, okay, Malik Zaire is ready to go. He's the goods. Ironically, he didn't run the ball very well. He had some trouble with the read option. Yeah, it was weird. He had some trouble with the read option. I think that Texas gave him some weird looks. I mean, Charlie Strong is known for his, defense. So I think he saw some fronts and some stunts that he wasn't really used to.
Yeah,
and
the designed quarterback runs looked really bad.
Yeah, I mean, there were a couple times when he just ran out of it. Like, he just made a fake and just ran straight to the sideline. And, the running back is running through the hole like, I feel like I'm supposed to get the ball, but maybe I don't know.
Yeah. He could run because anytime he scrambled, he looked great.
Yeah. I mean, that's not really anything that I'm worried about. I mean, they're going to get that figured out. I mean, even with his poor running game, like Notre Dame still rushed the ball 52 times for over 200 yards. So, it's not anything that I'm going to be overly concerned with. What I am going to be concerned with is they lost their starting running back, Tarian Folston, to an ACL on his 3rd carry of the season.
Yeah. He didn't even get hit. It was really weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those non-contact injuries. Limped off the field, and you could tell right away the doctors were talking to him, and he had that look on his face like, oh my God, like I just lost my season. So, CJ Prosise,
he looked good.
Yeah, he picked it up. He picked it up pretty well. He had 20 carries for 98. And then true freshman Josh Adams stepped up, and he had 5 carries for, I want to say 59 or 49. 5 carries for 49 yards.
With 2 touchdowns.
And 2 touchdowns. I mean, he scored a touchdown on his first touch of his career. So he looked good. They're obviously going to have a big role going forward. Will Fuller, go for it.
I have a crazy theory. As I was watching the game, I was breaking it down in my head, and okay. I don't know if I made it up. I forgot to look at the advanced stats today before this. It looked like Notre Dame had trouble running to the left, and I thought that was weird because that's where the Ronnie Stanley is. Is his name Ronnie?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just thought they'd be following the best left tackle in the nation, and he's going to maul people over. And it was bizarre because they went up it looked to me so they went up the middle and to the right a lot, away from him. And Texas defense wasn't that great.
No, it's a good point. I mean, I'm now that I'm just thinking about it, like I'm thinking of all the runs that were most successful, and they were to the right.
I mean, if it ain't broke, you don't fix it, right? Why would they show all the good plays?
I know that. I mean, so a lot of the read option plays go straight up the middle. So, and if the running back happens to cut right, then it seems like Josh Adams' second touchdown was a read option that was perfectly blocked by everybody. And he goes up the middle untouched. I don't recall them running left all that often. But then I don't really, I mean, maybe they saw something in the defense. It's not really anything that I'm super concerned about. I mean, I know in pass protection, Ronnie Stanley was, he did not have any trouble.
No,
with whoever was in front of him. Zaire had all day to throw.
All day.
He got sacked one time, and I think that was just a misprotection on his part. They just had a free rusher coming from his blind side on the right. So,
yes.
The offensive line is the last thing that I'm worried about. Who's carrying the ball is a concern of mine. Just in the sense that if someone else gets hurt, now we're talking about like moving receivers to running back. We've already done that. So,
but it worked out.
It worked out okay. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. Will Fuller had a big game, the receiver. He's still fast. People, maybe he'll make the Biletnikoff semifinal list this year because he didn't last year.
Well, he's going to have to probably get more yards, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's on pace for about, I don't know, 94 catches for about 1,800 yards and 24 touchdowns. So I think that should be pretty good. He had 7 for 142 and 2 scores. And then they got contributions from a bunch of other receivers. I mean, everything looked good. Defensively, they gave up 163 yards total offense.
Like 50 of them were on one play.
Yeah. Ironically, by their best corner, he gave up a 48-yard pass. But I mean, that was just kind of him being lazy. I don't think he thought the kid could run by him, and he did. So, but the defense, they had 8 3-and-outs. I mean, Texas only ran 52 plays. People were wondering, like, why didn't we see this guy on defense? Why don't we see that guy? It's like, well, they weren't out on the field.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the
we talk about
aren't tired.
Jalen Smith?
Yeah. I mean, he's good at football.
I saw some Vine videos and YouTube clips in the off season, but seeing it in person was pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, they were moving him all over the place. They finally put him with his hand on the ground to get after the passer, and his one sack came. I mean, he wasn't blocked. I think that was on Jerron Hurd, and there was a mix-up. I think it was actually supposed to be a run. If you look at the play, the linemen are blocking down the field, and 3 Notre Dame players are standing next to him in the backfield. So Jalen Smith won the race, so he got a sack for it. There's not too much to say about the defense. Daniel Cage, who stepped in for Jerron Jones, he had a really good game. Jerron Jones, the nose tackle who got hurt, he tore up his knee in fall practice. So Daniel Cage came in and he plugged up the middle. Like I said, I mean, he's a big dude, and now he knows it's his job, so he was really motivated. Not too much to say about the defense. They gave up 163 total yards, 60 on the ground. A little over, let's see, what is that passing then? Passing yards, 103 in the air. So,
are we sure that Charlie Strong's a good coach? Just, I know we talk about Notre Dame and USC, but while we have the time.
Well, I guess no, we're not sure. I mean, his track record suggests yes. I mean, he built a pretty good program over at Louisville. It helped that he had Teddy Bridgewater for sure. But I mean, they beat Florida in a bowl game.
That's true.
I mean, they beat Florida in the Sugar Bowl, and that's when Florida was a good team. So, he's undertaking a lot, and and this is why I said last week, like Texas. I mean, Notre Dame was a terrible team for them to open with because Notre Dame is a built program, right? I mean, people are talking about, like, I predicted 12-0. SI has them 4th. Like, you'll see people say, like, oh, yeah, I think they'll be in the playoff. And a funny tangent on that is, like, I see a lot of people, if they put them in the playoff, they put them at 4th, like they're the 4th-ranked team, which means they probably have one loss in that scenario, and everyone is saying, oh, a one-loss Notre Dame team should not get in because they don't play in a conference championship. They're not in a conference. So if you think they're going to be undefeated, well, they're not going to be 4th then.
Right, they'll be 1 or 2.
So, like, people are, they don't think these things through. But I digress. So, yeah, it was just a tough opening game for Texas. I don't think they'll be this bad. They're not going to be like a 3-9 team, in my opinion.
They had some good players, I thought.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
today I found out they fired not fired, but they demoted their play caller. Now he's not calling plays, and they made the wide receiver coach the offensive coordinator who's going to make.
Well, that can't hurt.
Right, but I mean, that just kind of goes to show, like, the guy got demoted after one game. So obviously there was something that he was doing that he didn't feel comfortable with, or they didn't feel comfortable with. I think they're going to get it figured out. they'll probably be like they were last year, like 6-6, 7-5. I tell you, they got that freshman linebacker Malik Jefferson. He almost murdered Josh Adams. I mean, Josh Adams like a helicopter flip. So I mean, that's a good player. I think they'll figure it out. But on the road against the top 10 team, at night,
yeah, they didn't stand a chance.
Yeah, they were in a bad spot. So I mean, Notre Dame did what they should. They went out, they dominated them in every facet as they should, and then just move on. It doesn't mean Notre Dame is a great team. It doesn't mean that Texas is an awful team. It just means at that point in the season, Notre Dame should have done what they did.
So what's up next for Notre Dame?
They are traveling to Virginia. They're going to take on the Virginia Cavaliers, who lost 34-16 to UCLA, and their freshman quarterback, Josh Rosen. Their coach is Mike London, who a lot of people seem to like. Everyone has nice things to say about him, except for maybe the boosters who root for that school because they've had a rough couple of years. Some of their key players, they have a running back whose name is Taekwon Smoke Mizell, which is super fun.
That is a very fun nickname. I agree.
It is. Smoke. So he will. He led the team in rushing last week. He had 16 carries for 45.
Not very impressive.
Obviously, not very impressive. But receiving, he had 8 receptions for 100 and a touchdown. So they're going to give him the ball a lot. He's kind of the focal point of their offense. If Notre Dame can slow him down, you got to think they're going to have a pretty good chance of doing well defensively. But they're going to move him around a little bit. He's a former 5-star player. He's a junior now. I want to say he had some injuries. He did not have that great a year last year. He only ran for about 450 yards. So, but yeah, he's the guy you're going to focus on. Other receivers, they had a guy 5 for 58, Kanan Severin.
Sounds like a bunch of nobodies.
Yeah, I mean, some people that you don't really know about. They're a good team. I mean, they're basically like Notre Dame. Usually in this game, they'd be playing like a Purdue or something. In Virginia, is kind of that. They're a middling team. Every once in a while, they'll have an upset, and then every once in a while, they'll lose to some terrible team, and you're like, oh my gosh, Virginia, like what's up with them?
This is a road game for Notre Dame.
It's the first road game. It's a 3:30 Eastern start. So, I mean, it's the type of game again, like you could see so you have the home opener against Texas. The team's obviously going to be up for that. And then the week after this one, they have at home, they have Georgia Tech, who's like probably at that point is going to be at least maybe a top 10 team, or maybe just outside of the top 10 at like 11 or 12. So you could say to yourself, well, this is a classic sandwich game, trap game, whatever you want to call it.
Early for a trap game?
It could be. I mean, it's Notre Dame's first true, road game of the season. It's at Virginia. Malik Zaire has never started on the road before. Then at the same time, he'd never started at Notre Dame Stadium either. But, maybe it'll just be a little bit of a letdown looking forward to next week. The thing is Notre Dame isn't really, they're not a proven team, right? Like, that's something you would see from, Ohio State maybe, where it's they're not motivated to play a team like this because, our quality is so much more than theirs. Notre Dame needs to, they need to just put this team away. I mean, granted, I don't expect 38-3, of course, but they need to be prepared to beat these types of teams. I mean, they are an up-and-comer. They're not a proven. You know, they don't go 10-2, 11-1 every year. So, you know, they can't expect to show up and, you know, have it be, you know, a one-score game in the fourth quarter. Like, those are the type of games that they need to say, okay, again, we are a made program. Like, you are not on our level, and you cannot play with us for 4 quarters. You know, maybe you can hang with us for a quarter, maybe a quarter and a half. But eventually, we are going to put you away because that is our quality.
So help me out. Who's better, Texas or Virginia?
Virginia's better.
Virginia's better. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, look, they played UCLA last week. They had 19 first downs. They scored 16 points. They had 336 yards of offense. I mean, you know, 21 of 35 passing. It's not great. I mean, they had 238 passing yards. It's not amazing, but at the same time, like, it wasn't the ineptitude of Texas last week. I mean, like, at this point in the season, like, if they played each other in November, maybe Texas would be better. But at this point, Virginia is a tougher opponent than Texas is. I mean, UCLA is, I mean, defensively, they are a very good team. You know, and they had over 300 yards of offense. So, you know, can I see a scenario where maybe, you know, they have some tricks up their sleeve? You know, yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't suspect they're that much better than Texas, but I think they're the better team. And Notre Dame is on the road. That has to count for something.
Definitely.
One little wrinkle that Virginia is bringing to the table is their defensive coordinator is John Tenuta, who was formerly a Notre Dame defensive coordinator under Charlie Weiss.
That seems like ages ago, though.
Oh, yeah, it was not long enough for me. He basically failed miserably. He's known kind of like their Notre Dame's current defensive coordinator as a blitzer. He's probably going to be sending a lot of pressure at Malik Zaire. Again, that's the kind of thing that I'm totally fine with. If you want to send pressure and expose your corners to Will Fuller and whoever else, I'm all for it.
Yeah, that sounds like a bad plan.
And all I really need is on the read option. You know, I mean, these blitz guys, like, they do a great job against, like, standard offenses, right? And the reason Charlie Weiss wanted to bring in John Tenuta is because John Tenuta was so good against his own offense at Notre Dame. He figured, if you can stop my offense, you can stop any offense. Well, Charlie Weiss runs a post style. Notre Dame spreads the ball out, right? They run read options. They do zone blocking. So if they're going to blitz people upfield and Notre Dame can get a crease, there's no one left in the back to catch the back.
Right.
And one thing that ProSize has that Folston doesn't, and same with Adams, is they have that long breakaway speed. Tyrion Folston was not known as a game breaker. If CJ ProSize and Josh Adams can get into the open field, they will break a long touchdown run. So, you know,
all right.
kind of.
Well, Las Vegas has this. Notre Dame minus 12.5. What are your thoughts? So Notre Dame's on the road giving 12.5 points.
I'm gonna say over.
You're gonna give the points still?
I would say it'll be like 37-13 or something.
I'm going to take the points as well, or I'm going to give the points as well. I think replay of the Texas game, same thing's going to happen. If they blitz,
I just think Notre Dame can score so quickly. You know, we saw it in the Texas game. I mean, it was 17-3 and then it was 38-3, like in a blink. Yeah. So
Virginia can't keep up.
No, yeah. I mean, they can, like I said, maybe they can hang for a quarter and a half. If Notre Dame brings, you know, their game, I don't want to say their A game, but if they bring their game, which I think that they will, this game will be not close in the fourth. We're going to see Deshaun Kaiser again.
All right, so I think we agree again. That's great. We were 2-0 last week. Hopefully, we keep it going.
Well, next week's is going to be different because Georgia Tech is. I'm very afraid of that.
Don't spoil it. We have a whole week to get to that.
All right.
Any fun news and notes from around the Notre Dame campus?
Fun news and notes. Well, they're little Hard Knocks.
Oh, did you watch?
I actually didn't. I don't have Showtime. I got to order it.
I forgot to DVR it. I feel like a dummy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I follow so much of the team, like in fall camp. I mean, there's a lot of coverage of it. I just feel like they're not really going to show me anything that I don't already kind of know. Like, I mean, they're college kids. Like, I know they say it's like Hard Knocks, but you're dealing with college kids, and Notre Dame probably has final say on everything that gets put out there. They're not going to show anything that's juicy or anything. I'm probably going to learn that Joe Schmidt likes to write poetry, and like Sheldon Day is like really thoughtful. And oh man, like I have to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and go to math class, and then I have to go study. Like, we get it. It's college. We have to go to class and then go to practice. I get that.
So what you're saying is I'm not going to see Ronnie Stanley in overalls and cowboy boots?
I don't think so. You might.
It was a good look for Vince Wilfork. That's all I'm saying. It was more big guy shit.
The problem is, I mean, they're showing me the lead up to Texas after I've seen Texas. So, like, it's kind of anticlimactic, you know? Like, I'm going to be watching Tarian Folston get ready for the season, and now he tears up his knee. It's like, what? Okay.
No.
So, you know. I mean, I'll probably watch it at some point.
Of course.
Yeah.
Anything else going on around the Golden Dome?
I don't think so. I mean, not that I know of. I mean, everything is like people don't really know how to act. We don't know how to be happy. It's 38-3. Everyone's like, well, Texas is terrible anyway. Maybe we're just good.
Maybe
we're just good, and this is our year.
Let's see some fun USC news and notes. I saw Cody Kessler's on the cover of Sports Illustrated. That can't be good.
Oh.
Or West Coast Sports Illustrated. Excuse me.
Well, Jalen Smith was on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
That's true. So far, so good.
Yeah.
What else did I see? Oh, this is a fun one. ESPN's doing a Pete Carroll era USC 30 for 30. So that should be
why? Like why? What? Like why? What are they going to talk
why
about?
Not? I imagine.
Well, but what's the angle?
It's just called Trojan War. So I imagine it'll be Hollywood, Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush in his free house, Brian Cushing, Brian Cushing being Brian Cushing,
Matt Leinart in his ballet class, ballroom class,
ballroom dance.
It's so funny. I mean, that's fine. I don't, you know.
It was an exciting time.
It was an amazing time. I mean, it's total side note. I remember I went to the 2002 USC Notre Dame game, and Norm Chow was like a freaking Jedi. Like that 2002 Notre Dame defense was really good, and I went to that game, and they were USC guys. Like the whole team was open. I mean, there were like 5 receivers every time just running free. And I thought, I mean, there's people open on every play, like multiple people open. Like, this is not good at all.
Well, maybe they'll have a little segment about how Pete Carroll fired Norm Chow, and we all know that Pete Carroll not the best play caller.
I mean, that was when time, like Pete Carroll era, was when I started to feel like, okay, SC is going to kill us every single year. And I mean, obviously they were good, but it's like you just expected it. And now I still harbor that feeling. It's like, no, they're always going to have the athletes. They're always going to be ready. They're always going to make the play.
Always
and that's
compete.
How I feel about them. It's because of Pete Carroll. And I want to punch him.
I'm sure lots of other people do too. Here, I'll make you feel better. I think he's a 9/11 truther. And some more fun USC coach notes. Washington linebacker Victor Iowa, I butchered that, wrote a tell-all book about his time with Steve Sarkisian. So that can't be good. And I believe that's kicking someone when they're down.
Wait, a player wrote a book?
Yeah, a Washington linebacker from Steve Sarkisian's Washington days wrote a tell-all book about his interactions with the coach.
I mean, maybe
That's real.
Maybe he just really liked him and he wanted to tell people about what a nice guy he is.
For Mr. Sarkisian, let's hope. He could use it right now.
He could.
Yeah. Other than that, I think we got all our bases covered. We watching the Notre Dame game, USC game this weekend. I don't think we'll be watching it together.
Notre Dame kicks off 12:30 Pacific, 3:30 Eastern. Mike, what time does USC start?
I think it's 4. I had it in front of me and I closed the window. I think it's 4 at the Coliseum. But it might be that same start time as Arkansas State though.
Okay.
I'm a bad sports information director. I'm sorry.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening. We'll do this. We'll do this again next week. I got to say, follow Greg on Twitter at what's your Twitter handle, Greg?
At Greg2126.
At Greg2126. I'm at Michael Muto on Twitter. There's also at Tiltingground on Twitter. If you want to tell us anything, you can always email us, tiltingground@gmail.com. Subscribe on iTunes. Subscribe anywhere you can. Leave comments on the iTunes page. We'd really appreciate that. And we really appreciate everybody who listened. Thanks for listening. We'll do it again next week. Fight on.
Go Irish.